We're going to start our show today with a good news statistic. Nearly 12 million breast cancer survivors are living in the U.S. today.
That's 4 times the number who were living here in 1971.
But that progress has come with an interesting price, as Judy discovered when she spent some time with my dear friend, Dr. Ernie Bodai.
Ernie Bodai's journey in the world of medicine began a long, long way from this Sacramento hospital. He was born in Budapest, Hungary in 1951, and during the communist invasion of that country in 1956, his father, a physicist, decided that the family needed to escape to Austria.
We spent about 6 months in a bomb shelter prior to escaping. When we made it into Austria, we spent a year in a refugee camp there. We were able to come into the United States in 1957, what was called over quota, because they only took so many refugees per year. And my dad was able to take a test with the National Science Foundation, and they found out that he was obviously very brilliant and talented, and that's how we basically got into the United States. He basically sacrificed everything that he had for the 2 kids and left his family behind, left his diploma behind to come to America to give his kids an opportunity to become a success.
And a success he has become. Ernie Bodai joined Kaiser Permanente in Sacramento in 1983. He served as chief of surgery for 15 years and now directs the Breast Health Center there. So he's been on the front lines of the fight against breast cancer for over 3 decades. He's authored 5 books and over 250 medical articles, and he's seen a tremendous amount of progress. So much, in fact, that he's also seen a new challenge.
What happens is these ladies undergo very intense treatment for 6-9 months with the radiation and the chemotherapy. And then once their therapy is complete, the oncologist or the radiation oncologist says, "We're done, goodbye." And what happens is the security blanket that they developed where they see a doctor, literally every 2 weeks, is all of a sudden taken away from them, and they go, well, that's it? Who's going to watch me now? And, who's going to take care of me? Who's going to pay attention to me? I need to return to my life, but maybe I'm not ready. Maybe I'm not really healed.
Dr. Bodai says consistent long-term follow-up is extremely important.
Because even after they're done with chemo and radiations, many of the women are put on 5 years worth of oral medication to block estrogen and keep the cancer from coming back. But we found that compliance is not very good 5 years out, because ladies start feeling pretty good about 3 years and I'm not going to take this medicine anymore because I don't like the side effects that I'm getting from them. So they're not compliant, and that's a very important thing. It's been shown in many studies that women who do not finish their complete cycle of therapy have a much higher relapse and death rate.
To help cut that relapse rate, Dr. Bodai is launching what he calls survivorship clinics.
The purpose of the new clinic is really to take the women once they're done with their treatment and bring them into our little home and tell them that we're going to be the ones that are going to be watching them. We're going to review their records regularly, see them on a regular basis, make sure they're doing well, help them transition back into what we call a new normal for them so that they're not lost. That's what the purpose of the clinic is, to help them transition back into their new life after cancer. A lot of education, a lot of nutrition, lifestyle changes, exercise, even as little as 20-30 minutes 3 times a week decreases the estrogen levels in the body and therefore decreases the chance of getting a recurrence, or in those women who have not been diagnosed with breast cancer, it decreases their chance of ever getting it. So nutrition, exercise, extremely important.
Do you subscribe to like acupuncture or meditation?
I think all these complementary medications or medicines and therapies are very important, and it's been shown that even listening to music promotes health, decreases your stress levels, decreases insulin levels, all the things which we think are precursors to increasing your odds of getting not just breast but any cancer. So relaxation therapy, acupuncture, music therapy, dancing, these are all wonderful interventions, and they have absolutely no side effects.
Helping develop the Survivorship Clinic program is Edna Campbell, one of Dr. Bodai's patients and a cancer thriver for over 9 years.
Dr. Bodai is starting a survivorship clinic, and one of the components of that survivorship clinic is integrating diet and exercise, and an exercise component. And yes, To Beat Breast Cancer is my program, and it is a recovery program for breast cancer survivors. It is dietary based and exercise based.
Edna was a professional basketball player in the WNBA when she was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2002. Her treatment involved a lumpectomy, chemotherapy, radiation, and tamoxifen. But Edna was able to make a triumphant return to the basketball court even before her treatment was complete.
I was able to beg, and my doctor relented and allowed me to get back on the court. So I was thankful for that, because as you know, when you go through that diagnosis and that treatment, you're a little bit removed from the normalcy of your life to a certain degree, and basketball was a big part of my life. So just being able to put on my uniform, it just made me happy. You know, we have thousands of breast cancer survivors who sit in those stands, and you know, I've heard and gotten feedback that it was inspiring for them. I'm thankful for that diagnosis, because it changed my perspective on life. It made me embrace the people around me, those moments that go by and we don't pay attention to. You know, I tell my loved ones that I love them every day, because we take things for granted. And so it made me stop taking things for granted.
Edna's training to be a nurse and helping support Dr. Bodai with his concept of the survivorship clinics.
And we can't leave this topic without two more quick things about Dr. Bodai.
Well, first, he's been a terrific booster of the Live Breast Self-Exam Kit, which you developed.
Right. And these kits are designed to help women discover lumps at an earlier stage, as Dr. Bodai so perfectly explains.
Basically, what we have here is a membrane that's latex-free. Inside here is mineral oil, and the purpose of this is to put it on the breast and do the breast exam with this. And what this does is it decreases the friction between your fingertip and the skin on your breast, and therefore it allows you to find masses at an earlier stage. And it's also, you know, very easy to use, and you just do the circular motion like this, you know, and you have to do it every month. Every other month is just fine. And we hope that it serves as an aid for women to find their lumps earlier, to do breast self-exam on a regular basis. And you know, Olivia's own story is one where she found her own lump and was basically told by the medical community, this is nothing, 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 and she was very proactive. And because of that, it spurred her to want to teach women to do breast self-exam on a regular basis, because she survived because she found her lump. Had she followed her physician's advice and not been proactive, who knows what would have happened. So this is her passion, and I'm happy to support her in this, to get this into the hands of every woman in the United States and around the world.
Thank goodness for your persistence.
Yes, well, I'm such a big proponent of regular self-breast exam, and I found the lump myself. Went to have a mammogram. The mammogram was negative, the needle biopsy was negative, and so it was my instinct that led me to the lump, so I'm all for it. Yep.
Well, I understand these are available now all around the world. Do you know how many countries?
There's a lot of countries now, so I think the best thing is to go to the live.com website, and it'll tell you where you can get one. And before we leave Dr. Bodai, we need to mention one more thing. He's very passionate about this, and he's raised over $75 million to date.
It's known as the breast cancer stamp. It was authorized by Congress in 1997. It's priced a few cents higher than an ordinary first-class stamp, and the difference goes to fund breast cancer research. And now the breast cancer stamp is raising money all around the globe.
So these are some of the countries that we've been to. Of course, we've been to Micronesia. We're in Africa in several countries. Although what they did was African Kenya version. They changed her into African women. And the other interesting thing is that Hungary was the second country that issued the stamp, and that meant a lot to me because that was my home country. So it's been an incredible journey.
The global journey.
The global journey, yes.